Hello again. Welcome to C Programming Lecture 2. This video lecture demonstrates the understanding of the C preprocessor better. So let us take this typical program. You had hash include stdio.h. I gave int main printf C Programming Lecture 2 printf /n/n/n. Now if you look at this, from my previous lecture we also saw how to generate the GCC preprocessor output. I give a -e switch. If you remember, I'll give a -o, then I give my file as bpop.c when I operate upon my b.c, which is my source file. So now let me go back and open that b.c file, b.pop file. So this is my file. Now what has happened, if you look at the original file and if you look at this original file, correct, the main is here. So my file got included before main. You understood? We have correct. So now what we will do is we will remove main itself from the program. I will comment it. It is as good as not there in my program. Let me again rerun my bpop. Open the bpop. Refresh the bpop. So when I do that, okay, now I have a preprocessed file which does not have my hash include stdio.h. But one nice thing to observe here is there is something called hash user include stdio predefined.h. okay, that we will look at that later. So now this is what it is. So now my program does not quote stdio.h. So I will do this preprocess output, which I will submit it to my C compiler directly. Then I want to generate the output. Now I get a warning saying that printf is now enabled by default, which means that if I put hash include stdio.h before main, before the printf, I go back to my code and read the bpop. So this is my bpop. Now I have my hash include. I have commented this, so I will save this, do the bpop and go back and look at the bpop. When I reload the bpop, my entire thing is got stored now. Now it interesting to note 134, we'll look at that later. So now if you look at this code, so when I go to my main is here. Okay, so when I compare this, when I submit this bpop.c to the compiler, now I am not getting that error, which means that when the stdio.h is missing, my printf gets enabled by default. Alright, now what I will do is I will just change the position of my hash include. I will take this hash include and I will declare the hash include within the function, mandatory function main. So I save this program, I go back and then to the GCC and refresh my bpop. Now if you see, the hash include has been included now after within the flower bracket main before the printf. Okay, if I want to find out printf from my file, this is where it is. Now if I run the code again, for example, I'll now submit the GCC bpop to that. When I do that, I still have the output. I don't have the problem with my output. There is no issue. Now what I do is I take my original file, take this hash include and declare below all the statements just before the last flower bracket. Now when I do this, I save the code, I do the GCC. I'm sorry, I will just first do the generate preprocess, then I do the. Now if you see, it is now giving me printf is enabled by default as if this hash include is not there, which clearly means now if I go back to my bpop and see, right, and if I look at my main, my hash include has been included after the printf, which clearly means that C inclusions are always from top to bottom. So if you ask it to include in a particular source file, if you give the position, the preprocessor will simply replace from the point of declaration. So which clearly makes that if at all you want to declare the preprocessor before you use, if at all you want to use the header file, it included. If at all you want to include the header file, please make sure that it is always the first statement from top down, so that we won't get these issues. So when I save this code and now run this code, the code runs perfectly fine. All right. Other things in lecture 3. Thank you.